Hello, my loves, and welcome to Create Your Life. My name is Simone Leah, and I am your host. And I am so excited to be here with you guys today and having this powerful conversation with you guys, bridging the gap between business and spirituality. The reason why I want to talk to you about this is because I think that sometimes a lot of us, we feel like maybe we're kind of alone, if that makes sense. You know, we're half businessy. We love having the business chats. We love talking to all the business people, but we're also spiritual. We love meditation. We love connecting within. We love feeling all the feels. And we're not just business and we're not just spiritual. And sometimes it can feel like we're alone or there's not many people like us, there's not many people in our circle that can have chats about both. And so I wanted to have a little chat with you guys to just share with you my experiences and also to help you guys to understand how you can bridge that gap between your business and your spirituality, because I think that combining the two things is just so incredibly powerful. So let's dive into this today. So when I first started in the online space, I was very business related, but I've always been spiritual. I just never really knew that much about it. I never really labeled it. I never really did the things consciously. I just always was meditating or doing affirmations. And I never really thought that they were a big, important part of my life. But they were. I did them all the time, but I never really talked about them. I just thought that they were a personal thing. I thought they were just something part of me. And then I started working with other entrepreneurs and I started seeing that they were also doing all of these things that I was doing, meditating and, affirmations and journaling and, really grounding their energies. And I started to notice that there were other people who were in business doing these things, but not everybody. And I got really lucky in that one of my very first online mentors, he's really spiritual. So we have all these conversations together. And interestingly enough, he and I have had the exact same conversation of being like, we're not business, we're not spiritual, we're our people, because we are both, we are both. So I really want you guys to know that you're not alone. And there are so many people like you. And I think that every day more and more people are becoming like us, and more spiritual people are realizing that they can actually have a profitable business. And more business people are realizing that they can actually come from the soul and the heart when they're in their business. They don't need to just be chasing the money or chasing the product. They can actually come from their heart and soul and everything they're doing. And so I think that we're actually slowly over time, naturally, as a collective, bridging that gap in general. But I just want you guys to know that you are not alone. I'm right here with you, half business, half spiritual. I feel like there's even more halves if we're going to put labels on. I'm half dancer and entertainer. I'm half nature person. I love everything to do with nature and animals. And there's so many parts to who I am. And back in the day, you really were you were a business person or you're a spiritual person. And, slowly we're bridging that gap between not labeling anything. We're not really labeling anything. You can be all the parts of you. And I think that's so beautiful. But obviously, what we're talking about today is bridging the gap between business and spirituality, which I think is such an important conversation and literally just needs to be had, because you can be those things. You can literally be anything you want to be. And that's what it comes down to. And so many people are feeling like they have to do things one way or another way. And what it really comes down to is there are millions of ways for you to make money. Millions. You could make money doing anything you want to do. So why not make money doing the things that you want to do? Why not have your beautiful business in a soul aligned way, like being spiritual and having that business and keeping everything the way you want to keep it? You don't have to strictly do everything that everybody says, because it's your business and you can create that business however you want to. Obviously, when you are bridging the gap between business and spirituality, there are some very important things that need to be kept, like making sure that you are sticking to a budget and making sure your business is profitable and making sure that you're doing your research on what your people and your target audience want to see or what sort of products they're going to buy. You do still need to be doing that sort of work. But when you're bridging the gap between business and spirituality, to me, you're bridging that gap between listening to your soul and making money. And that's the thing, you can make money doing what you want to do. You can make money having a business that you want to have. So bridging that gap between putting out products and having a business that actually aligns with you that aligns with your beliefs, that aligns with your values, that aligns with the way you live your life, that is phenomenally powerful, because that's where you're never going to feel like you're working. That's where you're going to feel like every day is just a beautiful day of creation and joy and happiness and light. And that's what we want to create. So when you're looking at your beautiful business that is going to be soul aligned to you and spiritual, in whatever way that means to you. When I'm talking about spirituality, the business itself doesn't need to be spiritual, but it's the way you run the business. It's how much time you put into things. It's how much effort you put into things. It's how much energy you put into things. Are you working 20 hours a day? Or does being in your soul aligned business mean you're only working 5 hours a day? Does being in your soul aligned business mean you have a podcast, but you don't have a YouTube channel because your soul doesn't want one? Does having that mean you listen to advice on how to put courses out from one person, but you listen to advice on how to do one-on-ones from another person because you know that the one model is not going to fit all, if that makes sense? Working with that one business coach who's done all the things in terms of, maybe some of those things will apply to you. Maybe some of those things will set your heart on fire, but maybe not all of them will set your heart on fire. And that's where it's really important to understand what's in alignment for you and start to really know that you can create whatever you want to create. You can create the business of your dreams however you want to create it. And if that means that you're working 5 hours a day traveling the world, then so be it. Create that for yourself if that's what you want to create. If that's where your soul will be happy, then do that. Follow the joy, follow the things that bring you happiness. And I'm not saying that from the beginning things are going to make money. There might be a little bit of time where you have to spend extra time setting things up. But by knowing what that business is that you want to create and being in alignment with what it is you want to create, you're going to be able to create that quicker, and you're going to be able to really listen in and connect in with your intuition when it tells you to do one thing instead of another. By really connecting in and taking that time to bridge your spirituality, bridge it with your business, and allow yourself to listen to what's coming from your soul. Allow yourself to be directed and guided by what's coming from your soul, but also paying attention to your business, paying attention to what you're selling, what you're putting out there, what it is you're offering the world. I've been thinking about a concept lately, which sounds a little bit interesting, but it's like, if I ran my life as a business, where would I be? And you can apply that, do you turn up for work all the time? And I don't mean that in a work sense. What I mean is, when you say you're going to do something, do you do it? That's very businessy. That's a very work related thing. If you had to hire yourself to manage your life, would you? How do you go with your finances outside of your business? How do you go with what you're doing outside of your business? Are you reliable? Are you trustworthy? And I've been really thinking about this concept of running my life as a business. And that's the sort of thing that would have used to make me feel really overwhelmed and stressed and out of my element. Like, oh my gosh, my whole business, my whole life as a business, that's so stressful. But I actually think that it gives you more freedom, because it lets you look at your life through a lens of what's working and what's not working. Because if this was a business, I wouldn't be doing it this way because it's not working, or you know what I mean? So I know this is a bit of a tangent, but it's also just something to think about when you're designing your life, designing your business, what's working and what's not working, and how quickly can you adjust and see and figure out how to make changes. Are you quick to change things? Are you quick to adjust? How long do you stay doing the same thing before you make a change? I think that these are some really important things you need to be looking at and asking yourself when you are having a business, but you're a spiritual person. You need to be looking at, yes, these things bring my heart and soul alive, but is there a way that I could be doing this slightly differently that still works for me, it still works for my business, but will bring me more joy? Is there a way that I can share this offering that I really, really want to share in a way that's actually going to land with my audience? What is it that you want to do? Let's have these conversations. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's take that accountability and look at what we've created and whether it's worked so far, and make the changes we need to make. Because when we're bridging the gap between business and spirituality, it's about really connecting with our soul's desire and creating a business from that, creating something that inspires people or helps people or sells people something that you know is going to be amazing for them, creating something that sets people's hearts on fire or something that changes lives. That's what a business, is. It changes lives. You buy a Coke, it's changing that person's life. They wanted to drink something tasty if they think Coke is tasty. But you know what I mean? It's changing people's lives. Every decision changes someone's life. Every decision they make, to drink the Coke or not to drink the Coke. So you're always selling in a business the end result of what's coming up, and bridging that gap between spirituality and business is so incredibly powerful. But you can literally make money doing anything, as mentioned. So bridging that gap between spirituality and business is about you, and it's about designing something for you and looking at the life that you're living and the life that you want to create for yourself, and taking the time to ask yourself those beautiful but important questions. Guys, I feel like I've been on a little bit of a tangent. I'm sorry, I do that sometimes, but I feel like this is a very important conversation to have when it comes to bridging that gap between business and spirituality. And I really hope that you've enjoyed this conversation today. And I hope that you've got value out of it. And if you know someone that needs to hear it, please share it with them. Please send me a comment. Please like this, send me a DM, whatever you want to do. I'd love to connect with you. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with you guys again.